So in the second lesson of Unit 1, 1.2, we're going to explore are pairs of fractions equivalent, equal to each other. So we're going to simplify some fractions. We went over this in the last lesson. So 2/4 simplifies to 1/2. 4/8, oh, that also simplifies to 1/2. Interesting. 6/9, those are both divisible by 3. The greatest common factor is 3. So that simplifies to 2/3. 18/27, they're both divisible by 9, although they are also divisible by 3, but 9 is bigger. And that, oh, that also simplifies to 2/3. So both of those were simplifying to 2/3. And 9/12, let's see, divisible by 3. So this is 3/4. Is this one going to be 3/4? Well, 36 and 48 are divisible by 2 and 3 and 4 and 6, but I think they're also divisible by 12. 36 divided by 12 is 3. 48 divided by 12, and let me make that 12 meter, 3/4. All right, so there was a clear pattern to this warm-up, and you're going to find this year that there are patterns in many of the warm-ups this year because they're trying to show you something. And so the question is 2/4 and 4/8 both equal 1/2? Does that mean they also equal each other? Are 2/4 and 4/8 and 1/2 all equal to each other? Yes, they are. And that means, does that mean 6/9 and 18/27 are also equal to each other because they both equal 2/3? Yes, they are. And I was a little sloppy there. And does that mean 9/12 is equal to 36/48? Yes, they are. They are equivalent. They are the same amounts. They are not one is not bigger than the other. They are the exact same amount, just in a different expression. Okay, they both simplify to 3/4. So, are both of these equal to 1/4? Well, yes, right? That one's 1 out of 4. This one's 2 out of 8, and 2 out of 8, 2/8 does simplify to 1/4. And you can see that there's the exact same amount of blue on the screen. When we think about eighths, we're just taking this same exact outer rectangle and just dividing it into smaller little bits, right? If you divided this in halves, right, it would be 2 bits. With 4, there are 4 sections. With 8, there are 8 sections. We could do 16ths and the same thing. But as long as we have shaded the same amount of blue area, it's the same amount. Okay, so we're going to do a little shading ourselves. So we're going to shade this, right, just like we did. And so 1/2, right, it'd be 1 out of 2. For 4/8, it is 4 out of 8. Do we have the exact same amount of blue? Then we can write an equal sign. And an equal sign means things are the same amount. The equal sign in first grade, when you went 1 plus 2 equals 3, you were saying 1 plus 2 is the same amount as 3. You were not saying here comes the answer. This symbol has never meant here comes the answer. It has always meant that the two things on either side are the same amount. You could write 3 equals 1 plus 2, and that's just as good because it's all we're saying there is those are the same amounts. Is 2/3 the same as 7/9? So, right, for 2/3, we're going to shade 2 out of the 3. And for 7/9, we're going to shade 7 out of the 9. And hopefully we're going to say no. Yes, not equal to is exactly the symbol you would think it is, right? It should be, right? It should be 6/9. So if both sides of an expression simplify to the same amount, they're equivalent. So let's see. We have 5/7, that's simplified, but 10/14 can be simplified. Now, we're not going to show simplification like this. All right, we're going to show it in a faster way now that we have reviewed simplifying. We're going to cross them out. We're going to divide both of those by 2 because they're even. And then we're going to just write what they simplify to. Well, 10 divided by 2 is 5. 14 divided by 2 is 7. Yes, The answer is yes. All right, why or not? Because they simplify to the same amount. So 4/5 and 11/15. Well, 4/5 is simplified. So can we simplify 11/15? It's already simplified. So no, they are both simplified, but they are not simplified to the same amount. Right? And for 15ths, all right, you need, right, 4/5 would be, and by the way, you can do this. We'll go over this in a second. You should be 12/15, right? This should be a 12 for them to be equal. All right, so now the simplifying fraction is on this side, but it's the same thing. 8 and 12 are both divisible by 4. 8 divided by 4 is 2. 12 divided by 4 is 3. Yes, they simplify to the same amounts. So this is the showing of the work you're going to need for the homework right there. You're not going to just write yes or no. You're going to show the simplifying. Okay. So here, all right, so we have 4/3. Well, let's see. To simplify that, well, let's see. 4 goes into that 9 times. 4 times 9 and 4. Well, this simplifies to 9/7, not 4/3. No, I've simplified that fraction, and I like to put the slash there because I hate leaving that showing they're equal. They're not equal. 9/7 is not equal to 4/3. Don't leave that there. Put a slash through the equal sign. Okay, so that's what we're doing. All right, so rulers. You've all seen a ruler. Let's make sure we all can read a ruler. Most rulers are in 16ths. Okay, so this pencil is 3 and 1, 2, 3, 4/16. That's that number. He goes 1/16, 2/16, 3/16, 4/16. All right, that's equal to 3 and 1/4. Right, because 3 and 4/16 simplified is 3 and 1/4. What about the other three? Are they equal to 3 and 1/4? Well, how would you do that? Well, you try to simplify them. Let's simplify this one. 3 and 3/12. Oh, that also simplifies to 3 and 1/4, so that's equal to 3 and 1/4. 3 and 2/8. That also simplifies to 3 and 1/4. But 3 1/2 would be halfway between 3 and 4. It would not be at 3 and 4/16. So whenever you see a ruler, you should double check it because there are exceptions. There are ones that are in 12ths and 8ths, but usually 16ths. And they usually look like this. And you'll notice some interesting things about rulers. The smallest ones are the ones that simplify to 16ths. Right? All these little ones. There's 1/16, 3/16, 5/16, 7/16, 9/16, 11/16, 13/16, and 15/16. Right? All the little ones are the 16ths. But notice what happens if you try to simplify 2/16. It simplifies to 1/8. And the next biggest are all the 8ths. 2/16 is 1/8. All right. Now there's an even longer one there. I'm going to skip that one. This is, right, that is 6/16, which is 3/8. That is between 9 and 11, 10/16, which is 5/8. And this one here is between 13 and 15, which is 14/16 or 7/8. And then the next longest line are the fourths. Right, that's 3 and 4, 3 and, well, that's not 3, but 4, that's 4/16, which simplifies to 1/4. And that is 12/16, which simplifies to 3/4. And then right in the middle are the ones that simplify to halves. Okay, and we're going to go over that again on other problems. All right. So sometimes when you're doing this, by the way, you have to simplify both fractions. So let's simplify 2/10, divide the top and bottom by 5. You divide it by 2, and you get 1/5, right? 2 divided by 2 is 1, 10 divided by 2 is 5. The other side is divisible by 5, and that simplifies to 1/5. So yes, these are equivalent. they both simplify to the same fraction. That work is your description. All right, so when you see those zeros, that means you're dividing by 10, hopefully, unless it's 20 or 30 or so. So 10/40 simplifies to 1/4. 3/12, divide top and bottom by 3, and you get 3 divided 3 is 1, 12 divided by 3. Yes, we got another yes. Well, let's do the easy one first. This one's 2/5. I don't think the other one's going to come out as 2/5. These are both divisible by 4. So that's 2, but this is 2/3. So this is no. And I notice I put the slash through the equal. And it's okay that the bigger, so 15/5, that simplifies to, by the way, 3. You could just put 3. I put 3 over 1, but you could put 3. 36/12. Is 36 divided by 12 3? Sure is. 12 divided by 36 is 3. And so, yes. 3 over 1 is 3. This is 3 equals 3. Yes. And you don't have to circle the yes and no. I just did that. All right, so here's another one of these pencils. This pencil, and by the way, notice when you measure, you don't start at the end of the rule. You start at 0. So the pencil starts at 0, and it's way over here, and that is 3 12/16. So which one of these equal 3 12/16? Well, 3 12/16 could be simplified, right? You divide both of those by 4, and you get 3 3/4. It's 3 and 4. Oh, 3 3/4 is there. That's the same amount. And then, but 3 6/8. Let's see what that simplifies. Oh, that simplifies to 3 3/4 also. So that's also equal to it. 8/12. Well, 8 is divisible by 4. So you get 3 and, oh, this is 3 2/3, not 3 3/4. So not that one. And 3 9/12. Yes, that also makes 3 3/4. So, oops. So these three were all equal to 3 12/16. All of these, right? This is 3 12/16. But it's also 3 3/4. And that's why it's this long line, because it simplifies to 3 3/4. But it's also 3 6/8. It's also 3 9/12. It's all of those, because they're all equal. They're all equivalent. All right, so we have 3/18. Ooh, there's a nice pattern going on here. Well, let's see what 3/18 simplifies to. Well, it simplifies, 3 divided by 3 is 1. 18 divided by, well, it simplifies to 1/6. So for this to be true, all of them have to simplify to 1/6. 4 divided by 4, 1. 24 divided by 4, 6. Yes. 5 divided by 5, 1. 30 divided by 5, yes. 6 divided by 6, yes. And 7 divided by, yes. These are all make 1/6, right? They all simplify to 1/6. So let's practice. So we have to pick out which one's correct. All right, well, 40 divided by 8 is 5. So 81 divided by 8? No, that's right. 81 divided by 8. This should have been a 72. No, so this is no. This is 5. Oh, so this should have been 72. Well, that seems like that's going to be the right one, right? And this simplifies to divide by 9, 5. This simplifies to 5/8. No, it's the one in the middle. There are my slashes. So same thing here. 25/5 simplifies to 5. 15 goes into 64 times. Now, that's something you should memorize, right? If you have the hands of a clock, there's 15 minutes, there's 30 minutes, there's 45, and 60 goes all the way around, right? So 15 times 1 is 15, 15 times 2 is 30, 15 times 3 is 45, and 15 times 4 is 60. So this is 5 equals 4. That's not equivalent. This one, 12 goes into 48. That's 4. And we just said this is 4. It was the one in the middle twice. Mr. Ben doesn't like making patterns like that. 24 divided by 8, though, is 3. All right. 3 over 1 is the same as 3. and this one is 4, so no. Okay, so it is the 1 in the middle. So yes, if you can read a clock, you know your 15 times table, at least the beginning of it. All right, so which equivalent are 3 and 4/8? So there's 3 and 4/8. Well, 3 and 4/8 can be simplified, right? We can do it by 4, and that makes 3½, okay? 3½ isn't one of our choices, though. But 3 and 2/4 does simplify to 3½, so yes. 3 and 6/12, divide by 6, not 3. Yeah, that makes 3½, so that one is also there. 8 is not half of 12, right? This makes 3 and 2/3, so this one's no good. And 8/16, yeah, that's 8/16, right in the middle of the 16ths, right? Because you could simplify the fraction. Any fraction that simplifies to 3½, or any mixed number, I should say, that simplifies to 3½ can go right there on the ruler. Are all the fractions equivalent? Well, the first one makes 7, right? 14 divided by 2 is 7. 21 divided by 3, also 7. 28 divided by 4, also 7. 36 divided by 5, no, it should be 35. So once we get one no, we can stop. This one is a no-go. This one does, it's 7, so it's no. Right, good luck with the homework.